Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a sales and marketing coach and LinkedIn lead generation service provider. I work with health, life, and mindset coaches and online service-based business owners to help them get more sales, shift their time to the client-generating activities instead of just the busy work, and overcome that social media overwhelm. Let's get into the show. You're about to hear one of my amazing clients, Lisa, share how she was able to sell a 4K coaching package for the first time, how she was also able to sell a 10-session package of coaching, which before she was struggling to even sell single sessions, and how she really grew her business from the ground up, working with me in private coaching. And so enjoy this little testimonial before we dive into today's episode. But if you are feeling like it's a struggle to get your visibility up, to get clients, things like that, you're always welcome to book a free consult at haileyrowe.com, where you will learn more about my custom coaching options, my inner circle, which is my 6-month private and small group hybrid program. So I can't wait to connect with you and hear more about your business goals. But until then, let's dive into her testimonial.
Hi, I'm Lisa Ryan. I'm a personal trainer, nutrition, and wellness coach, and I run both in-person and online health coaching programs. When I first met Hailey, I was only a month into my business, and I thought I was doing everything right. I was working all of the time, but nothing was landing. I was beyond overwhelmed, and I was stuck, not seeing the client growth and build that I was hoping for when I first started this business. To be honest, the word investment kind of gave me a mini heart attack. I didn't think I was there yet or that I was allowed to invest in that type of service. And I'm also pretty stubborn. So I was like, I can figure this out myself. I'll just use free resources. It'll be fine. I almost said no. But the more I thought about it, I could tell there was something different about Hailey that made her stand out. She didn't make me feel like I was just another client, another random person to add to her email list. She genuinely wanted to be my mentor and support me on a deeper level, helping me make my goals and dreams come true. Fast forward just 2 months into working with her, I sold my first high-ticket coaching package, something I never thought my life would look like or something I never thought I'd be able to do, but here we are. We fine-tuned my website, clarified my offer, and re-strategized how I was going about social media, which was my biggest stressor, and now it's just another thing. Also getting rid of confusion, knowing what I offer instead of just, I'm a coach, cleared up a lot. I started connecting with hundreds of people, and now I have a running list of events and networking opportunities lined up for the next 6 months of this entire year. Most importantly, I became braver and more confident, reaching out, offering help, offering my heart and my mission. I'm not afraid to just be like, hey, this is who I am, would love to see how we can collaborate. Hailey has been there 24/7, answering my questions, calming irrational thoughts, and helping me move through doubt as a new and young business owner. She's not just strategic and smart. She is real, she's fun, she cares, and she is there for you. I could talk to her about my business, my personal life, how it all ties together. We talked about my dance career, kind of what makes me who I am and how I can offer that to others. Hailey helped me grow as a business owner, but even more, I grew so much as a person. 2 months ago was a whole different girl, and she taught me to take care of myself, not only physically, but mentally, give myself grace every day, and actually enjoy this journey. I was so bad at just working 12 hours a day, and she was like, Lisa, take a deep breath and look how far you've come. I would recommend Hailey to anyone, and to be honest, I might deny future coaches because genuinely no one can compare to her and the experience I've had for 2 months. I remember the first 2 weeks sending her so many emails a day. I was like, this is my new idea, look at this, what do I do? Can you edit this? Can you fix this? I would invest into a retirement because I was like, I want to get that started. And I was like, I'm going to go broke. All these crazy thoughts. And she would respond with communication, so much length and thought into that. And I could never thank her enough. So if you are hesitant, it's okay, but take that deep breath and take that next step forward because your life will be changed forever after working with Hailey.
Welcome to the Prosperity Code, where we unlock the secrets beyond hard work to receive wealth effortlessly. I'm Jacqueline, your host, and I am so glad you are here. If you are ready to stop pushing and start receiving. You are going to love today's conversation. Up next is coming who's mastered the art of making marketing simple and sales feel good. She is a powerhouse marketing and sales strategist, LinkedIn lead gen expert, and the host of the top ranked Health Coach Nation podcast. Since 2010, she's been helping coaches, wellness professionals, and service based entrepreneurs attract clients with ease, boost their sales, and finally stop being chained to social media overwhelm. Named one of the top 25 coaches in Chicago and running one of the top business podcasts for health coaches. She's here to show you how to build a business, not a hobby. Please welcome the brilliant, no fluff, always actionable Hailey Rowe. Oh, Hailey, I am really so happy and excited to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hailey, what got you started helping entrepreneurs grow their business in a simpler, more sustainable way? Would you share your story?
Yeah. So I am an old soul, and back in high school, I started to take my first stab at sales, and I started selling fitness DVDs, which was kind of funny at the time. I was selling them to my neighbors, I was selling them to my mom's friends, and I realized I really liked personal development, personal growth, and entrepreneurship, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with that. And I ended up getting my bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship, and then I started to work in business development and marketing for startups. And a lot of the companies that I worked for were in the coaching world or in the wellness world. And so I naturally got very interested in how do you market, how do you sell, how do you write good copy, and how do you do it for companies that are doing good things in the world, right? And when I was working at these startups, I realized that a lot of people on the outside, before they've started a business, they overcomplicate it. They overthink it. They think, I need more experience before I start. I need to be perfect before I start. And what I saw behind the scenes at these startups is they were definitely not perfect. They were figuring it out as they went. And I ended up, one of the startups that I worked for, after a lot of thinking we were going to be crushing it and I was potentially going to be promoted and all these things, they ended up having to let everyone go in one day because of some unforeseen things that happened. And I realized at that point that there's never a perfect time to start your own business, and I might as well start mine because I knew I wanted to do that. But I kept overcomplicating it. I kept thinking, I got to be perfect. I got to wait. I got to get more experience first. And so in 2017, I started what I do now, which is marketing and sales coaching and consulting for business owners. And the reason why I want to simplify this for these types of entrepreneurs is because a lot of times you have a craft that you're great at or something that you love doing. But then when it comes to marketing and sales, you don't see yourself that way. You're like, I dread sales. I'm an introvert. Marketing has to be really hard and I can't learn it. And so a lot of times you kind of put yourself at a disadvantage before you even start. And my mission is to help those types of entrepreneurs find a sales and marketing way of going about their business in a way they can stick with, in a way that is moving them forward, and that is working with your strengths. Like some of my clients, they do a ton of local marketing because they like being involved in their communities. They like speaking. They like going to events, while other clients love writing and they love being online and they love doing content creation and things like that. So it really does depend on the person, but there's a lot of different options for how you can get clients. It's just more of let's actually put it into place and break it down. And that is kind of what I do.
Wow, that's really fantastic. So you get always start without being ready. Just put yourself out, do what you know and what you are aligned with. This is what I'm hearing you saying. So what are your values? What are you are good at? So, and then just plunge in and start your business. And of course, there's so many others criteria. So from your point of view, beside overthinking it and only be aware I get to start when I am ready, what other things that makes women entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs keep themselves stuck in the hustle of not having clients? What else?
Yeah. So a couple things. One would be they're focusing on the ego boosting activities or the busy work instead of the actual client generating steps. So this is very easy to fall into, especially because social media is so prominent in our world today. A lot of people mistakenly think, well, I just got to post. I just got to post all the time, and that's going to be how I get clients. And in my opinion, posting is something that can nurture people and it can help you get clients, but it's more so indirectly related to how you're going to get clients. What's more directly related to how you're going to get clients is the number of offers you make minus the no's equal your results. So when I ask someone, how many offers have you made in the last week? And they're like, well, I mean, I made a post that had a call to action, one. And so we have to get clear on, okay, hold on. Like we either need to be doing email marketing, we either need to be getting you in summits or in partnerships with people where you can make an offer at the end of your guest talk or something like that, or we need to get out in your community and have you host a workshop or something, but you need to be making offers of some kind to either your lead magnet, which is your email freebie that brings people into your world and then you can nurture them, or on a call with you or into your sales process. And so some people, I'm not saying you just go out there and say, hey, want to buy my offer. That's not what I'm saying. There's some steps in between that, like having someone sign up for your email lead magnet and then sending them offer emails after you've nurtured. Or, for example, if you're going to give a talk, give the value, give the talk, and then have a call to action of some kind. But I think there needs to be more focus on what's the low-hanging fruit for how I can be making offers. And that's the other thing that is a common mistake. A lot of people think I need something brand new and fancy and I need to hop on TikTok and all these things, when really right in front of them, they have never launched a referral program for past clients and said, hey, do you know anybody else who would want this? And I have a new referral program and here's what you get when you refer a friend or whatever. Like that's right in front of you. So I think that's another mistake I see is you try to hop to something shiny and new because it seems cool when really you have these opportunities right here that we can work with and milk and optimize. So that's another thing that I try to focus on first with clients.
Yeah, I love it. So just like just like me or many other entrepreneurs, thank you for sharing that. I used to focus only on service. How can I give more? How can I be there for other people? And when it comes to sales, I retract and I start, okay, it's okay. So what I heard you saying that you get to focus first, okay, on good service, on values you give, but also at giving those people the opportunity to work with you and not leaving them in the side doing nothing as if you neglected them, right?
Right.
So it's very essential to always give them the opportunity to work with you to continue instead of leaving them hanging there.
Exactly.
That's powerful. And stop looking into any other options outside instead of looking what works in your own business and then exit. This is what I heard you saying. Thank you for sharing that, for reminding me that.
Yeah, I mean, and I have it broken down into a system called the 4 steps of client attraction. And it's really connect, which is we got to be visible to your target audience. Engage, which is asking a question that allows you to understand from your audience, what do they find useful? What do they want help with? What do they find valuable? And then you make a pre-offer, which is not your paid offer usually. It's usually a free lead magnet or a free something or other that can help them achieve a mini goal or quick win.
Yeah.
And then we invite to the sales process. And I call it an invitation because a lot of people think I have to push, I have to convince, I have to beg. And when you see sales that way, of course you're going to retract. That's probably what maybe you were going through when you're like, I don't want to do sales. Maybe you were thinking of it like, ooh, it's kind of icky, right? But when it's an invitation to take the next step and you're curious and you're trying to help this person find the best solution and your offer offers a solution, it makes sense to invite and be curious and hear what they want and see if you can provide that. So I think that that's a better way to view sales if you're really getting tripped up with that.
Yeah. So it is a kind of invitation. So as if you are inviting a friend to come and have coffee with you. So the second step is to connect, right? And to understand what are their vision and how my work can support them create achieve what they want. So yeah, that's beautiful. And you created a framework that named FAST, FAST. So, and this FAST has helped so many service-based entrepreneurs boost their sales. What's one piece of that formula that people usually overlook beside what you just shared with us, but makes the biggest difference?
Yes. So the frameworks is an acronym and it stands for the top principles that are important for succeeding in your business. So it's followers, action, sales, time management, and transformation. And with followers, what I mean by that is how are you going to be attracting new leads? What is your lead generation strategy, right? How are people going to find out about you? And then the action piece is how do you create content, messaging, and marketing that's compelling enough that people want to take action and reach out? The sales part is what's your sales process? Are you going to have a webinar? Are you going to do calls? How do we make that as smooth as possible? How do you overcome the common objections? Making sure your offer itself is very sellable and marketable and solid. Time management is what to focus on and helping you with navigating overwhelm and that kind of thing. And then the last part is transformation, which is 2 things. The personal transformation required to reach your goals. So sometimes that's forming new beliefs about yourself or shifting your identity. And then the other part of transformation is making sure that your point A to point B of your offer is clear, it's compelling, it's differentiated. So where people kind of get mixed up within this, I would say one key thing is they don't know what to prioritize. And so they either spiral and like try to do a million different things at once, or they prioritize, as I said, what kind of feels easy. Like I'm just going to post and that's the easy thing. And that's what I'm going to do. Or there's sometimes with all of these steps, beliefs that are holding them back. Like, I'm afraid of being visible. I'm afraid of what if I do get too many clients? What am I going to do? And I think that also trips people up before even starting, because at the end of the day, there's steps in our business that we need to take, and they're kind of tasks. And the tasks are neutral, but we have a ton of thoughts about the tasks and feelings about the tasks that end up getting in the way, maybe leading to sabotage, things like that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, this is really deep and helpful. And I totally understand and know some women entrepreneurs kept themselves playing small, making stuff as be afraid to get visible for the same reason you just spoke about, because what if I get so many clients, and what if I'm not good enough, from the transformation of the way of being, of their beliefs. And at the same time, they work small and they keep their business as if it is a side hustle. So what do you think? What mindset shift do they need to finally go all in and treat their business as if a real business and not a hobby?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think part of it comes down to how you're thinking about it. Like a lot of my clients say, "Oh, I'm just new. This is my baby business," right?
Yeah.
And while it may be true that you're newer to entrepreneurship, chances are you're not that new in whatever craft or skill you're offering. So if it's coaching, maybe you've gotten a certification, you've worked with practice clients, you've coached yourself through huge things. So I think we have to stop saying I'm so new, because it almost like keeps us small and limited in our thinking, versus I think we need to see ourselves like, I am stepping into entrepreneurship. I'm a CEO. I have to start making decisions like a CEO. And while there's different decisions you're going to be making in phases of your business, like for example, on your way to the first 6 figures, you're probably not going to be making huge decisions about hiring and recruiting and managing people. I mean, a lot of it's going to come down to managing yourself first as your own boss. And that's the other huge thing for people who want to transition into their business full time, is managing yourself and your time like a boss. Because if you've had a job, you're used to getting responsibilities assigned to you and a lot of direction and probably a boss who is looking at your stuff, versus solopreneurship. Starting out, it's all you, and you have to make decisions and you have to keep yourself accountable. So however you need to do that, whether you need to track, like, so for me, in the beginning of my business, I tracked wins and fails. Wins because they're all results, and it helped me get closer to knowing what's going to work, what do I need to tweak. I'm trying stuff. I'm proud of you for doing that, right? So whatever you need to do to hold yourself accountable and treat it like a business, as opposed to this is just something I'll do when I feel like it, or when it's, when I have 20 minutes here and there. It might start that way, and that's fine. But I think you really have to shift your mindset to thinking like, this is my commitment. This is something I'm building. I'm an entrepreneur, and I have to start thinking like one.
Wow. So step into being the CEO before even knowing what CEO means. Just accept your new step, your new you, and the steps you spoke about. Look what is working, what is not working, and what is in the gap, and start filling the gap. And sometimes the gaps are stuff that we don't need, right? So at least we get clear about how to lead for the next step. I love it. Thank you so much. So as we have been talking, you worked a lot with the startups marketing, and now you mentor coaches. What's the secret to getting more time back? Because as solopreneurs, you get to invest all your time in the work, right? So what's the secret to getting more time back instead of while still growing your revenue consistently? Because we think that working hard is gonna make us make more money, get more clients, do all this. So, and as I know, and I heard so many times, that it's not working hard. You can work less and have more than you think about that. So what is the secret around that?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things that come to mind. The first is when you are transitioning into entrepreneurship and going back to the thing about being a hobby versus being a business, a lot of time gets wasted emotionally and thought-wise on you not treating your business as like data, an experiment. You're a scientist doing an experiment. You treat it like, this is my heart, And if someone rejects me, I'm going to take it personally. I'm going to be down and out for 3 days. I'm going to stop working on my business for a couple days. Like you don't have the luxury of doing that if you're trying to build a business, right? So seeing it more data driven and looking for the ways you're emotionally draining yourself, that's the first step. But then when it comes to your actual calendar and tasks, one thing I like to do is have what I call like a brain dump list of everything you feel like you need to work on in your business this week. And then taking it and saying, okay, which of these things lead to my goal to getting my next client and should be prioritized? Which of these things are maybe nice to have, but not needed, and I could put them on a later list or a someday list? And then which things are like, things that just don't need to be done right now. And I just am putting them there because they're indulgent and I want to do them. And I think the other thing to ask yourself, because when it comes to time, a lot of times we'll make our to-do list, but it'll be vague or it'll be unrealistic. Like we will look at our actual day of calendar schedulings, our meetings, our obligations, when we have to pick our kids up, whatever it is. And you'll see that. And I think you should actually block it out in your day and then make what I call a wish list of like, here's the things I'd love to get to today. But then look at your time blocks and openings in your day and say, what from this wish list can actually fit in realistically? And making sure that your list, the tasks on it, can be checked off as yes or no, and I can do it within 30 minutes or less. If it's not, that means you haven't broken it down enough. It's too vague, and or you're not being clear on what you can actually accomplish. And so you're going to feel really bad at making commitments for yourself because you feel like you always break them or you can't keep them. And that's really bad for building trust with yourself, which you need to do as a business owner. So if you wrote work on my website, that sounds terrible. Your brain's going to spiral because it's like, okay, what on the website? Like the whole site today? Are we doing, where do I start? So instead of that, put like, work on the headline for my top of my website today in between this meeting and this meeting for 20 minutes or whatever it is, right? And ask yourself, is there a pre-step to this I need to be thinking about that I'm missing? Because that's the other thing I see is like one of my clients was setting up her email lead magnet. And she was like, she didn't realize that she needs to just take a day to familiarize herself with the features within her email CRM system and like watch a video on it. So sometimes we miss pre-steps and we need to make sure we're accounting for those too.
Yeah, thank you for sharing these really, really helpful uh, steps and insights. And at the same time, yeah, because just like you said, if we are not really connected with what we are doing, right? And understanding the steps, I feel overwhelmed. Sometimes I look at oh my God, this time won't fit because I didn't take it in a smaller bites and make something fit between this and this, right? This task and the other. If I have 30 minutes, what can I do with the 30 minutes? I think, right? So, but when we take that thing and make it smaller and see what is behind, how can we make it happen? It can be happen with that small time, with a small bite of the work. I like it. And Hailey, it's been really, really, really gold. And I know that our audience going to need more from you. And I know you have put together a powerful free resource called The 4 Steps of Client Attraction Without Social Media Overwhelm. Can you tell us about it and how it can help them start getting real results?
Yeah, so that is a free cheat sheet and class for all of you special attendees. And it's going to take you through how do you take someone who's a stranger to you to an actual client? And I show real examples of conversations that turned into clients. I show a template one of my clients used to get a 3K sale within the first couple of weeks of coaching. And I give you kind of both a class that you can walk through and visually see it, but also a little cheat sheet that's going to help you take action this week and start to drum up more business. So it's at haileyrowe.com/client-attraction, and you're welcome to check it out.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. So I hear you saying inside this cheat sheet, they will learn, I will learn to build on demand, see the exact templates to land a 3K sale in 3 weeks, because this is what I got the notes before, and I wanted to highlight it for our audience to know what is that huge gift you are gifting them. And is that true? They will get a DM script for the DM to follow?
So you're going to see examples of DMs that are non-salesy and screenshots of real ones that have happened and worked well. And then you're going to get a cheat sheet that's going to help you create your action steps for the 4 steps of client attraction. And there is a template in there for I think it's for the referral parts that we talk about in the training. But so you'll have a little bit of a template in the cheat sheet. But yeah, it's all in there.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So, and I believe in that cheat sheet, there is something that will keep the leads engaged, right? So
yeah,
that's why you can lead them from stranger to become your client. So they get to be engaged. Thank you so much. Okay, so, and Hailey, what's the final advice you would like to leave our audience with?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing I would say is anybody listening to this, if you feel like nothing's working or I'm stuck, I want you to really think about how can you reflect and look at everything you've tried so far and see which things could indicate that they could work in the future, or what feels like the lowest hanging fruit for you and getting your next client. And then write down all the reasons why you think you can't or you're not getting clients. And each of those things, remember that they can be turned into either strategies. So if you write down the obstacle, I don't have any followers, okay, well, that can be turned into a plan to grow your following. But sometimes what you're going to write down is like, no one wants to hear from me. In which case, that's a thought error, and that is a limiting belief, in which case we need mindset support for that one. So write down all the reasons you think you don't have the number of clients that you want to have. And then each one, just chip away, pick the biggest one that you feel is limiting you the most first. And this week, create a shift, a plan, a next step to help you start conquering that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hailey, for you making marketing feel simple and doable. Actually, everyone watching, don't miss Hailey free cheat sheet, the 4 steps to attract clients without social media overwhelm. You can also tune into her podcast, Health Coach Nation, or join her free Facebook group, Marketing Hub. You don't have to grow your business alone. Go connect.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for being a yes, for sharing your insightful mindset, insightful actions with all of us. Thank you. And that's a wrap up. That's a wrap on this powerful session with Hailey Rowe. Your next step, grab her free cheat sheet and take one action from it today. Progress starts with a single move. And don't miss tomorrow's interview. Another inspiring expert is ready to help you break through scarcity and step into abundance. Keep an eye on your inbox. Your next key to prosperity is coming.
Hey there. Today I want to let you know about a free resource that I've created to go with this coaching episode. If you are listening to this episode about the phases of change and finding warm leads, one of the things I mention in today's episode is how listing yourself in coaching directories can help you attract warmer leads because they're actually searching for a coach. And I've put together a resource that has a list of directories, apps, and companies that tend to hire coaches. And I want to share it with you for free. So you can get it in the resources section of the show notes today. The show notes will be at haileyrowe.com/ready-to-buy. And the way you spell my name is HAILEYROWE. And that's haileyrowe.com/ready-to-buy. When you get to that page, scroll down to the resources section of today's episode, and you'll see that free resource. Enjoy.
Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. And if it's really helpful for you, I'd really appreciate if you share it and or leave a written podcast review. This tells the podcast sites that our show is useful and it will be promoted to more people that way. Thanks again.